Okay, this video is going to be a slam the door challenge. Okay, so what I find is a lot of people are either visualizing too much, they're like making too big of a scene of it, or they're imagining too much stuff in the scene, or they kind of get lost in their visuals, or they're just not visualizing at all and they're just affirming. So this is going to be a challenge for those of you who don't typically visualize, or if you are visualizing, just to tone down your visualizing a little bit, and just for basically anyone, just to amp up your creation and make things easier and quicker and hopefully get things really, really fast. Is anyone from Toronto or has been there? My very, very best friend is from Toronto, so I'm representing her today. I actually have an amazing success story, including her from a couple months back. So I'm thinking about doing a success story video. If you guys are interested, let me know. I have a lot of different success stories. Like I have some on health and some on SP. So please let me know if that's something you guys want to hear. I've never done a success story video. So if you guys want to hear some success stories, let me know. Okay. So today we're gonna do a challenge. It's gonna be a 3-day challenge. So it's gonna be kind of simple, you know. And the reason it's a 3-day challenge, and the reason why Neville always talks about 3 days, and you hear 3 days a lot. You hear 3 days from the Bible as well. Sorry, I was just noticing my positioning is here and just the weird lighting. Okay, so the Bible talks about 3 days being a thing too, right? It mentions it a lot actually, and Neville has mentioned it too. And the reason I believe Neville has talked about 3 days is because okay, that was very violent. Is because we as humans can't really focus more than 3 days, to be honest, like steadfastly focus, right? And I think he was just chunking that out as a surefire, predictable amount of time that we can just agree to, that is not too far-fetched for us, that we can simply just say, okay, you know what, I don't have to do this forever. I don't have to do this for 2 weeks. I don't even have to do it for a week. I can just take 3 days and take those 3 days and slam the door on the old story for those 3 days and just do it for a short amount of time. And in that time period, you're going to waver a lot less than if you put it down for like a month. Like let's say you were making it mandatory for you to visualize this thing and never go back to the old story for a whole month. There'd be a lot of pressure, right? You feel really stressed about that almost. Like a lot of these people that are manifesting and they don't understand that you can waver and still get what you want. There's too much pressure, right? It's just a lot of pressure. So 3 days is like an easy chunk of time for you to really get into this and say, okay, you know what, this isn't a week, this is not 2 weeks, it's not a month, I can do this for 3 days. And that's literally why I believe Neville chose that. Like he understood the human mind really well, and he thought like, this is a chunk of time that's easy to agree to step into a new way of thinking. And if you just keep doing it 3 days at a time, in my mind, if this doesn't work in 3 days, do it for 3 more days, but do it in chunks of 3 days, right? And there's like a genius in that, because you're not pressuring yourself to do it for 3 weeks, right? You're just saying chunks of 3 days. And that's why 3 days is such a magical number. It really does allow us to relax and really let things come in if we're only needing to do it for 3 days. So the challenge is, for 3 days, you're just going to add in this simple visual, and I've seen clients have amazing results, because a lot of times people are complicating things and they are either not visualizing, or when they are visualizing, they're making it too complicated. So one or the other, we're gonna bypass all of that and just do this really simple thing. Okay, so I want you to think of something you really want, okay? Something that you've been trying to create for a long time. Maybe you've seen little bits and pieces of it, but it's not all the way here yet. So think of that thing, whatever it is, and then you're going to create a very small, maybe 4-second sensory visual of that thing. So I'm going to give you 2 examples, okay? Let's say you want a raise from your boss, okay? I'm going to use one not SP example and then one SP example, okay? So let's say you've been wanting a raise for quite a while, or even just a few weeks or whatever. Just you decided that's what you want, and you have been affirming, or whatever you've been doing, add this in. So I want you to just picture, so let's just say that's your goal in this case. Just picture your boss smiling, you smiling, and saying thank you in your visual. And you want to add in the sensory experience of everything that's going on around you. And it's still going to be a 4-second scene, so the setup might be a little longer, but the end scene is going to be about like 4 to 5 seconds, right? So I want you to think about what you smell. What are you smelling in the office? Like, does it smell like, paper, or does it smell like coffee? And what are you seeing? Are you seeing like people walk by? Are you in like a glass enclosed office? Are you kind of out in the open? What are you seeing with your eyeballs? And you're seeing your boss in front of you smiling. And you are hearing, what are you hearing? You're hearing like ambient noise. Maybe people are talking in the background. Maybe your boss is, telling you something and you can hear their voice. And imagine saying thank you. Just imagine your voice and your boss in front of you and just saying the words thank you. Just saying the words, oh my gosh, thank you, or whatever, but just hearing yourself say thank you, okay? So it's we went through what you see, what you hear, what you smell. What are you tasting? Maybe you just had a turkey sandwich for lunch. Maybe you have gum, gum in your mouth that tastes like, mint or something. Maybe you have a mint in your mouth, or like a licorice chew or something, so that's what you're tasting. Like, really give yourself a sensory experience, okay? And it really should only be, once you add in all the senses, you can just, it'll get quicker and you do it for 4 seconds, but it's really just seeing your boss in front of you, saying thank you. And you can even imagine what you're wearing. How do your clothes feel? Are they starchy? Is it cool in the office? Is the air blowing? Do you hear the air blowing behind you? What does your office feel like? Is there a window open? Do you hear birds outside of the window? Kind of give yourself the well-rounded picture of what is happening. Like, what is the full experience? And put yourself there. And oh my gosh, sorry. And put yourself right in the center of that, and just be there. And just do this 3 times a day. I'm making it simple, so it's 3 days, 3 times a day, once in the afternoon, whenever you think about it, and once in the morning and once at night. And just do this for 3 days, and we are slamming the door. The reason why I'm calling it the slam the door challenge is you're slamming the door on anything that's not this, right? If you get any thought that comes up, and the reason why I'm saying slam the door is because I want you to do it quickly, right? I want you to switch quickly and go back to the visual. And we're not using combative thoughts. We're not combating, let's say you like, oh no, my boss is never going to give me a raise. He doesn't really appreciate me. My boss is really stubborn, or whatever you think in your head. Immediately cut it off. Don't even say the whole sentence, right? And go right into your visual of thank you so much. Like, just be, and if you can't feel it, don't worry. Just go to the visual. We're not trying to always feel everything. That's, almost impossible, right? Even though Neville says like feeling is a secret, you're not always needing to feel everything. You can just literally go back to the visual. So anytime you get an errant thought, my boss never does that. He's never going to do that. He doesn't give raises. He's really stubborn. He doesn't care to reward me for my hard work. Whatever the thought is that you are thinking, go back right away to the visual. Okay, so this is the 3-day challenge. And the other example I'll give you is an SP example. I want you to pick a tiny little scene, like the one that I liked a lot and the one that my client liked was walking down the street holding hands. Just so simple. And the reason why these simple visuals are so powerful and effective is because they don't require much from you, right? If you imagine your wedding day or you imagine on your honeymoon, it kind of can seem daunting or feel like it requires a lot from you, right? But these are like so easy and so simple, and they're so quick, and you can just return to them easily. And I really feel like there's so much power in just returning to something simply and easily. And so again, do all of the senses, include all the senses when you're walking down the street. What can you hear? Are you hearing kids playing in the background? Can you feel the roughness of their hand as you're holding their hand? Can you hear your footsteps and how their footsteps and your footsteps are making, sound on the sidewalk? What are you walking on? The sidewalk? What do you see in front of you? Is the sun setting? Are there leaves falling from the trees? Do you hear the rustling of the trees? And what do you taste in your mouth? Did you just have dinner? Did you just have a coffee? Do you taste coffee in your mouth? Or do you taste did you just brush your teeth and you're going on a morning walk, so you might taste mint flavor? And then what are you hearing is the last sense? Are they saying I love you, or I'm so happy to be here with you? Make it simple, right? Just really quick. Or this is so nice. You can hear them say something really simple like I love this, right? But it's going to be a non-committal scene, and that's really what we're picking. We're picking something that's not so crazy and outlandish, but it's very simple. And I find that the simple things work the best, like when you're not putting too much pressure on yourself and you're making things a little simpler, but you're really including all your senses. And this can work along with affirming, do your normal routine, whatever you normally do. If you just decide you're that person in the morning and that's your routine, and you just know you're the I am, you're the operant power, and you just step into the highest, best version of yourself, whatever you're using as your way of being the new person, still do that, but include this simple visual in, and do it for 3 days, and slam the door on any errant thought, and let me know how it works. I want you to come back to this video and let me know if it was effective for you, if you did it. Some people probably won't even do it, but try it, please. It works. It's really, really powerful. The idea of including senses and also just making things really simple, and then doing your normal routine along with it, or maybe taking a break from your normal routine. It's not a big deal. It's 3 days. So do whatever you want. Let me know how it goes. If you loved it, thumbs me up, ring the ding. Ring the ding, because I might be doing lives soon. I kind of wanted to ask you guys if you would like that, if you'd want to show up and do lives and do question and answer stuff. I'm not sure schedule wise how I could really do that, and how other people would be able to schedule that in too, and see how many people would show up to that. But anyway, so there's that. But yes, so please, if you loved it, thumbs me up and and if you love Neville and changing your life, transformation and law of assumption, stick around. I'd love to have you. See you later. Dog says bye. Bye guys.